I meet Matlala because now we're engaged on this presidential thing and me and all that, but talk other things. One thing that took me aback in the meeting of Zimbali is when I saw his protection. I've spoken to Matlala earlier on and gave me the information that we have lost 56 members of the Special Task Force of Police to the taxi industry. If you're taking care of us, we'll go back home. By the time I left, so they were being processed, quite several of them, they were going back to the police. Well, I heard Minister Mkhunu said he has fixed the matters of the special forces. No, that process started when Nkele was there.
Subject of an investigation by the Hawks and the SIU concerning the extraction of 2.3 billion from Tembisa Hospital.
Okay.
At the time you say of the visit to you were unaware that it was actually belonged to Mr. Maumela. I received numerous queries from a journalist, Jeff Wicks, concerning my relationship with Maumela. I can confirm that I do not have any relationship with Maumela.
I meet Matlala because now we're engaged on this presidential thing and me and all that, but talk other things. One thing that took me aback in the meeting of Zimbali is when I saw his protection guys. And I began to say that looks like there are faces I know here. What nearly made me fall down is when he told me that some of those guys, 23 of them, has recruited them from Special Task Force of the Army. I said to myself, what is this? He has taken 23 of the Special Task Force of the Army to guard him.
They're even recruiting some of our best, highly trained officers.
Let's see, I'm giving you the story that scared me. Why I'm scared of this story is because I've spoken to Matlala earlier on and gave me the information that we have lost 56 members of the Special Task Force of Police to the taxi industry. 56. Now, I'm told that to train one member of the Special Task Force is 1.1 million to be all-rounder. One. We have lost 56 to the taxi industry. Maybe there where I threaten you of knowing. But I've got two issues here. That I can't have such a production to the private security. That's the first fear. The second fear is that looks like we're increasing the capabilities of the private security versus the state. Because I don't care how many you send, there will be a serious battle between 56 guys in the taxi industry with the 20 guys you send of the Special Task Force. So it's something that must be,
Yes, General?
It's something that must be corrected, Chair. Indeed, Masimula and me, we engaged the taxi guys in KZN to say, bring back our men. They say, we pay them better. We pay them better. Talk to them. I say, guys, can we go back home? They say, Minister, we love the page. National Commission, we love the page, but we don't eat the page. Maybe that's one thing that we'll have to see what we do with our people that have high capabilities so that we keep them in a proper way. Maybe that's one case that as legislators will deal with. So I go back, Commissioner and I will go back and we discuss. We say, Commissioner, we have a leeway here of dealing with this 56. We had 3 meetings with them. The last meeting was an HR where we were preparing to bring them back. Not all of them that came back, but a big chunk came back. The leeway was that special task guys, both army and police, they have a special allowance. The special allowance started same level, both of them, at 6,000 some years ago. Soldiers have moved to quite a high, I don't know whether to say the figure where they've moved. They've moved there as a special allowance. And the police have stayed there at the bottom. So we agreed with the National Commissioner that move them up where they are, which is more than 20,000 from 6,000. And then agreed, and they said, Minister, with pleasure, if you're taking care of us, we'll go back home. By the time I left, so they were being processed, quite several of them, they were going back to the police. Well, I heard Minister Mkhunu said he has fixed the matters of the special forces. No, that process started when Kele was there. But it was going to start with special forces, goes with the NIU and the CATS. CATS are not too many, and then goes to the TROT, that few that are still there. Now, with that process, SC, comes information that 23 of the army now are in the payroll of a private guy called Matlala. Anyway, I began to see them at the funeral, Honorable Malema. I began to see them at the funeral where we were together. I said, I know these voices, but at that funeral, there were more guns and flowers.
Which funeral is that?
That was Mswazi. The guy called Mswazi Mnisi, who was a taxi guy. So there were more guns and flowers. And I said to them, what is everyone you were hitting?
It's Guns and Roses.
Maybe guns, but there were more guns. So because it was a big guy in the taxi industry. Many of taxi guys, they came with helicopters in that funeral. They did not drive. Honorable Julius will remember, there were many helicopters. I asked some of them, why did you use helicopters? They say, no, because he was buried in his farm, you had to drive through the bush. So it was not any other thing, it was to make sure that they go there. So you could see that this private security is taking the capabilities of the state. So somebody had to do something with it. And Matlala is part of him increasing his own private capability. I don't know where that is arrested now. I don't know where those guys are that have left the special task force of the army. Remember, while they train similar, but when chips are really down, those are the guys that you bring in. And they're in the private hands.